you're from the South. Obviously, you grew up a different kind of way, and you're a rapper too. Do you feel like you could say the N-word?
Oh boy.
I feel like I can say it, but not because of that, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Uh-oh. That sigh, he shouldn't have gone here. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign, bro. Bro stressed immediately.
I wish there was some black dudes in here.
There are. Right there.
And there's one right here.
I wish there was black dudes in here. It's kind of crazy, though.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him.
Okay, that's my manager. Hey,
Because
Will.
me and Fee know what's up.
Well, you're black. I'm saying.
What the you gonna do about it? You know?
Are you scared of ever getting canceled? Like, do you feel like?
No, I'm not. I don't think I can get canceled.
Okay.
Angela is like, I've met many of people who said that before. Yeah, okay. This interview with Angela Yee just ended Mexican OT career. There should be an apostrophe S right there. Video by Poetic Flaco. Okay, let's go ahead and watch.
This Angela Yee interview has ruined this rapper's career and will have a lasting negative impact for a while. The rapper in question is Mexican OT. For the most part, Mexican OT has managed to have a thriving rap career with zero controversy before the Angela Yee interview.
Wow.
He's been on Joe Rogan. He's been on Andrew Schultz, Bootleg Kev. He's been on every hip-hop platform. And he's one of the very few rappers that before that interview, you couldn't really put up anybody who wasn't a fan of Mexican OT or anybody who disliked them. But literally all of that changed overnight and became a thing of the past when Mexican OT was on Angela Yee's podcast and they asked him if he says the N-word. He then proceeded to give the single worst answer for anyone who's ever been asked if they say the N-word.
The cancel culture is really strong. I have a question. So you know, like you're from the South. Obviously, you grew up a different kind of way, and you're a rapper too. Do you feel like you could say the N-word?
Oh boy. Predicts? What is he gonna say, huh? Does he say the N-word? Yes or no? Come on.
I feel like I can say it, but not because of that, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Uh-oh. That sigh, he shouldn't have gone here. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign, bro. Bro stressed immediately.
I wish there was some black dudes in here.
When he began to ask for some black dudes, I'm thinking he's about to ask the black dudes for validation. Like, yo, y'all got Spanish homies who say the N-word, right? I was not expecting the turn this was about to take.
There are. Right there.
And there's one right here.
I wish there was black dudes in here. It's kind of crazy, though.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him.
Okay, that's my manager. Hey,
Because
Will.
me and Fee know what's up.
Well, you're black. I'm saying.
What the you gonna do about it? You know?
Asking them to identify where the black men are in the room so you can say, well, what are they gonna do about it? Bro, that energy is crazy. That's like a crazy energy. Regardless of where you lay.
Is this career ending, though? What the fuck they gonna do about it? Low-key, ain't that what all the fucking Mexicans and Puerto Ricans be saying? They be saying the N-word and shit, and fucking Cubans and shit like that. Spanish people think they got an N-word pass, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the N-word police, so if a Latino person says that shit around me, I ain't gonna press them or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the external, personally. But didn't Tekashi 6ix9ine say the same shit? No.
On the spectrum of if you think he should say the N-word or not, you got to admit, that's a crazy energy to have. Now, I'm not one of them ones who gets super upset if somebody says the N-word. Yo, my energy is too high and too positive that I'm not letting nothing get to me, bro. If a racist calls me the hard ER, it's not gonna make me upset. Like I'm not being affected by anybody's actions, bro. Not happening.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the one thing we can't admit,
I
though,
agree with
regardless
that. I agree with me personally. I can't. What I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to crash out on you because of a word that you said? I don't give a fuck about you, nigga.
of where you're at on the spectrum of if you believe he can say it or not, him having that energy is just bad, and it's gonna come back to haunt him.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
what he proceeded to say after this, to me, should
You
be
better not go perform in Oakland, nigga. That's all I'll say. When you talk like that, there's certain cities you can't perform in no more because niggas love. You got niggas over there that just waiting to test somebody's gangster, bro.
the right thing he should have said. He should have started off with this. But when you start off with that energy, that's gonna now instigate and antagonize other people, specifically black men who you called out. That's going to antagonize them now to come and see you about it.
And then second of all, I grew up loving these motherfuckers. I grew up fighting with them. I grew up eating with them. I grew up fucking doing bad shit with them. I grew up loving with them. You know, I got family. And it's not even about family. Even if I wasn't related to nobody out black, I mean, it was shit. It's what the fuck I was surrounded by, you know? Like,
This nigga over explaining himself and shit. She asked you, do you say the N-word? Yeah. No. That should have been it. Yeah, I say it. No, I don't say it. Why you explain yourself?
respect people that they feel
That's really what fucked him up. If he had just left it at, yeah, you think this is going crazy? Niggas on Twitter will be like, you know, oh, he shouldn't say that. Then other niggas would be like, it's just a word. It doesn't matter. It's like all kinds, you know, he's not white, you know, and nobody would have. But this is where niggas fuck up, bro. They explain themselves.
And that's why I try to shut the f about it.
Right.
But if you're from where I'm from or anywhere, what the f you gonna do about it? You know?
I personally like Mexican OT. We have mutual friends. I think he's cool. But this is not the right way to go about things, bro. 90% of that statement is cool. That 10% ruins the 90%. What are they going to do about it? You speaking as if you are an authority, as if you have a birthright to say the word. As if somebody telling you, hey, bro, you can't say it, is them taking away something from you. And that's not the case. Now, apparently he's confident in saying this word or in the stance he has because he believes he can't be canceled at all.
I'm gonna tell you why though. I think it's a lot of access, way more than it used to be. And then I think that people don't have the space to make mistakes because everything just goes viral and everybody's scared of getting canceled. So people be a lot more cautious. Are you scared of ever getting canceled? Like, do you feel like?
No, I'm not. I don't think I can get canceled.
Okay.
Angela is like, I've met many of people who said that before. Yeah, okay.
I can't get canceled because I didn't sell my music. I sold me.
Right.
And
It's what come with it.
And these people know who the fuck I am, and they love me, and they appreciate me. And that's why I can go fucking off a bridge and eat a bowl of shit. They gonna fucking love it.
Okay. Please don't.
Right. Yo, he's mad funny. What the hell?
No, but listen
If you
to
had a
me.
choice between jumping off a bridge or eating a bowl of
No,
shit,
but
what would you
listen
pick?
to me. I did
jumping
both,
off a
and they would have
bridge.
cheered that shit on. And it's because I sold myself. So that's why I don't think I can get canceled. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't agree with what the fuck I'm saying, like
I have a question. I'm gonna let you finish though.
there's a whole world that is behind me. And not only is there a whole world behind me, it's so fearlessly me that you have no choice but to respect it.
He's correct in the sense of you can't break what you didn't make. You can't cancel someone if you're not their demographic.
That's true.
If I'm a rap star, a country fan can't cancel me. They're not listening to me anyways.
Yeah, that's
But this
true.
is where Mexican OT has to be careful because I feel like he's incorrect with his case. He's a rapper. He's within hip hop. Hip hop, for the most part, is black culture. You have black people who enjoy Mexican OT.
Yeah, but what percentage of Mexican OT's fan base are black? You know what I'm saying? And not just black, but the kind of black people that would be bothered by this. I would say probably a very small percentage.
His music. So if you're in his situation, pissing off black folks and say, I'm not concerned. All right, they're not my demographic. That's not really going to bode well because the worst thing a rapper can ever be labeled, especially if you're not black, is like a toxic culture vulture, right? Is when they label you in like the same breath as like Slim Jesus or as like Post Malone. Like you don't want to be listed or named in that category because it never bodes well, right? Like it never ends well. You don't go from being super liked to now everything you do is being critiqued. Now everything you say.
Now, should Mexicans and Latinos and shit like that, should they say nigga? Personally, I don't believe you should. I don't think it is in good taste in the context of the history of black people in America. Like it's really, to me, when I hear a Latino say it, I don't get offended. I just think you don't really understand the history of this word. If you did, you wouldn't say it. You would know it's not for you. You would know why it's not for you. But, you know, so that's my 2 cents on that situation. Do I think they should? I don't think they should. I don't think it's in good taste. But I think a lot of it's not coming from like a hateful place or anything like that. It's purely people are ignorant. Young people today from different backgrounds, they're ignorant of the history of this word, the weight of this word, where the power that this word came from. And, you know what I'm saying? They just see it as like saying bro, you know what I'm saying? Gang, twin. They see it as the same. And so that's why they use it like that.
Is being put under a microscope. Now people is just going out of their way to call you a culture vulture and to hate on you. Which is why I believe this interview here was a mistake, or exactly what he said was a mistake. Now, rappers have tried to come to his defense, like Sauce Walka, but when Sauce Walka tried to come to his defense, bro, Sauce Walka just made things 100% worse.
Oh, hey man, say man, I be trying my best to stay out of subjects like this and rant like I used to, but this one really be bothering me. Mexicans, Hispanic people, and the word, and people using the word, they're of Latin descent, specifically. Mother said, I sound dumb as hell for saying, to say that a Mexican or Hispanic person can't say, use the word in fellowship is like saying Mexicans telling us we can't eat a taco. We can't eat tacos. The comment said,
now that's another reality. There are a lot of black people who also don't understand the history of this word and why it's so charged, why it's so energetically charged. No, nigga, that's not the fucking same at all.
Can you compare a derogatory racial word to a food? How do you racially disrespect a white person? What do you call them? What is this
nigga saying?
Dumbass.
I'm lost, actually. I thought I knew what he was saying. It appears that I didn't. I'm lost.
What do people call Mexicans when they be disrespecting them? Tacos, burritos,
What? I have never, ever, in my over 15 years of living in America, and I've always lived around Latinos and Latinas. You know, I went from Florida to California to Texas. A lot of Spanish people, Hispanic people all over the place. Never once have I ever heard, hey, fuck you, taco. That fucking burrito, man. I fucking ate that guy. I've never heard that before. I've never once heard that.
Wet food, disrespectful, bitch. Racism is racism no matter how you put it. And if we're going to talk about it.
Watch how they, and when I say they, y'all know who I'm talking about. Watch how they have an incapability of defending their Mexican homies or their Spanish homie right to say the N-word without tearing down black folks. Sauce Walka, I guess the immediate go-to is to talk about how trash black folks are, or how trash, you know, like we are, or how we ain't ish. That's the go-to, I guess, when defending somebody who wants to say the N-word. Why not, you know, just give your brilliant points? Like, yo, saying the N-word is like eating tacos. Mexicans are called tacos, so when you eat tacos, you're disrespecting them. But they allow you to eat the tacos.
I don't even know if that's what he was saying. I don't think he knows what he was saying.
So you should allow them to eat the N-word.
The most disrespectful racist mother on earth. We hate ourselves more than we hate anybody.
Bro, the Coon OS is just built so deeply into this fucking what? How what?
Rob, steal from, don't support, don't help others. See 10 in the middle of the street, mother getting ate by a mother grizzly bear and keep running. A white person to jump out and try to fight a Mexican or try to stab him. Put out their phone and record you die and suffer for views. But you have the audacity to say that Hispanic people shouldn't say the word. Second of all,
the reason Hispanic people and no other race for that matter, Arab, brown people, why they shouldn't say the word niggas, because they don't have, that's not in their history. They don't have the history of being fucking chattel slaves. Like that's not, they are not living in a world where their ancestors, they're the descendants of niggers. Oh, I can't say that on Twitch, can I? Oh shit, fuck. I'm black. I'm saying this for educational purposes. They're not in, you know what I'm saying? They're not descendants of people who that was their reality, where they were second-class citizens as a result of the fact that they are descendants of sub-Saharan Africans that were brought here against their will and then forced to work and enrich this country. And then after being freed from that bondage, were then still being oppressed by laws and rules and regulations that made it damn near impossible for them to build any wealth. And then that continuing in one form or another all the way until the 1960s. And so when black people call one another nigga, at least when the term started, when this started, right? It's like, it's acknowledging a shared experience that they have with one another. When you're an Arab and you're literally like a third generation person because your grandfather immigrated here. None of that, the wealth being trapped, being descendants of people who were not given access to education or resources, and so you having that handicap in life. None of that is a part of your reality. You feel me? And so when two black people call one another nigga in this country, they're acknowledging, and it's not so much the case now, obviously, as things have progressed and opportunities have opened up for more people. It's becoming less and less the case. And I think that's why more and more people are becoming disconnected with why that word is not supposed to, it's not proper. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not an educated position to think that there's nothing wrong with you saying that word, even if you're not black. There's a shared ancestral trauma, I suppose we could say, amongst black people, both spiritually, but also materialistically, right? The average black person is born into less wealth than the average white person because of slavery. When they were going to the best schools that were available to them 100, 200, 300 years ago, black people weren't allowed to go to those schools. I mean, you go back 300 years ago, many places, well, not 300 years ago, were niggas allowed to read. You know, I guess it depends what fucking state you're in. You know what I'm saying? But that's the point. That's why that word is so unique in that way.
The word has already been converted into a word of love, a word of companionship, a word of brotherhood, fellowship. It's not been a derogatory racist word in so long. Yes, coming out of a certain white person's mouth in a certain way, yes, man, feel more disrespected than for a white person calling you a boy. So at the end of the, like, some real shit, y'all be doing that shit for the internet, and I hate this shit, bro, because y'all don't really give a about. That's the part that irks my soul the most. And then, how disrespect the Asian person? What they call them? Fried rice, egg, same shit. Don't ever say that comparing it to food is not the
I've
same.
never heard that before. Again, the whole food being a slur thing, I've never heard that.
Yes, it is, you dumbass. You the dumbass, idiot. I love Hispanic, anime, Japanese, Chinese. I love all people. People need to love people. Yes, we have been done wrong, but a lot of people have been done wrong as well. Yes, we have not got our reparations and our blessings back for what we have been through in this world. But when you talk about Hispanic people, I feel the same type of way, because why? Hispanic people built America just like we built America. America was built on the blood of Hispanics just like it was built on...
No. Here's the problem. Any Hispanics that built America, they came here to do that shit. They weren't fucking slaves, okay? They weren't forced to do it against their will. Same with the Chinese. People say, oh, the Chinese built the railroads. Yeah, they came here to do that. They wanted to come here. It's very different than when you're kidnapped and then forced to do it and not compensated for it. It's very different. Also, the sheer scale, right? This country was built by black slave hands. The grand majority of people who lived in the South, I know they were still white, but you know, if you counted all the African descendants who were slaves and you count all the people who were Mexican or Native American who participated, it doesn't even compare. Without the free materials that were produced by black slaves, America isn't the wealthy country it is today. The slave trade is the reason why the cotton gin was invented. You know, without that, the machines that enriched America even after slavery was abolished, they would never have been invented. The demand for that kind of ingenuity came as a result of slavery. All of the fucking free shit that the slaves were producing. Labor is like the most expensive part of production, of producing a product. It's labor a lot of the times. And so when you get that shit for free, I mean, that's how you set this country up for wealth.
The blood of the black man and the Indian man. So at the end of the day, all that shit is bullshit. And it's y'all for that dumbass systematical racism that make us hate each other. I understand that dumbass shit going to California, how they feel and all that, and that's dumb in a bitch too. Because right now, everybody should be supporting Hispanics that have came over to America and helped build this country and ain't did nothing wrong to you. And if you can, bitch, I don't know, y'all niggas hoes though. But shout out to the Rasa and every Mexican that don't like you too. Every person that don't like me, you too. But at the end of the day, all you fake Carnell X and fake ass Farrakhan police in the word against people of color, that's dumb than a bitch.
Man, Sauce Walka trying to sell some records, man. He trying to sell some records, man. Bro, understand, bro, you can't have a career in Texas if you go against Hispanic people, bro. It ain't happening. And if you are a rapper who don't want Hispanic people who say the N-word to come to your show.
But you don't gotta be against Mexicans to not coon, bro. You don't gotta coon to, you know what I'm saying? It ain't got no hate about it. It's about educating people. And again, I don't give a fuck, me personally. I got better things to worry about than what other people want to say, what words other people want to use. I don't care. I'm just saying I understand. It's not just fucking theater. It's not just fucking black people crying about shit for no reason. There is an actual legitimate reason that is founded in history and understanding the context in which this country was founded as to why it's not cool, right? But it's I don't personally give a fuck. I got better shit to worry about.
Your show is gonna be empty in Texas. I mean, that's just the fact. That's just a fact. Now, I'm not saying like he's wrong for the thoughts that he believes that people of color can say the N-word. I guess if that's your philosophy, you have a right to have it. But what you don't have a right to do is tearing down black folks to defend a Hispanic man's right to say the N-word. That's just absurd to me, right? Like to me, like that's lunacy. That's crazy. That's insane. Why? To sell some records, I guess. Now, Sauce Walka actually made things worse for Mexican OT because all this did was highlighted, create more of a media storm. And people just had a more vitriol reaction to Mexican OT once they realized that there were black folks defending him for saying the N-word. Here are a couple of tweets. If you're visually impaired, you could skip.
I ain't gonna read all this shit out to y'all niggas. Pause the screen if you want to read it.
Hispanics saying the N-word.
Now, what I will say, though, I'm not going to read the tweets to you, but what I will say is I saw a lot of black people calling for violence. That is also not the fucking answer, dude. We can't allow other people's ignorance or insensitivities to cause you to become emotionally unbalanced. Who the fuck cares what, I'm saying, this dude wants to say with his mouth, bro? Pause. But what impact is that having on your life one way or another? How is it helping you or hurting you? It doesn't. And so I think it's good to understand how to articulate why it isn't proper or isn't cool for people outside the race to say the N-word for the sake of educating people. But if you are actually getting to the point where you're allowing that to emotionally disturb you, then I would say you've lost the plot. You know what I mean?
It doesn't affect me none. I couldn't care less about anything else. All right. But do I believe as a Hispanic person, you should be challenging black people for your right to say it? I don't, right? I feel like because you're not black, it should be the approach of, for those who don't mind me saying it, hey man, when I'm in your presence, I'ma say it and we can rock how we rock. For those who have a strong problem, who it affects, who me saying the word gives you trauma, I'm gonna respect your trauma not to say it when I'm around you. All right.
That's
I feel
fair.
like that's the respectful thing, and that's the respectful way to answer. The other stuff to me is a little too much. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think of Sauce Walka's defense of Mexican OT? Let me know. And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here on my screen.
All right, so we figured out how this story started. Now let's check out how it's going.
I thought we were done with this whole Mexican OT N-word saga, but apparently we're not. The situation is still being talked about, and now Mexican OT just lost his right-hand man and his biggest defender in this situation. Honestly, Sauce Walka may have been the only black person, at least with status, that defended Mexican OT. When Mexican OT's situation started to go viral, Sauce Walka ran to his phone and began defending Mexican OT. But it was the quickness and the aggressiveness that caught a lot of people by surprise and turned a lot of people off. Sauce Walka compared saying,
Player Kenzo in the chat says, what you gonna do about it? Make us look bad if we do nothing. This is why he can't say it. Here's what, and it's not even what we should do. All of the black artists should just not work with him. They should just not work with him. That's how you teach people. You don't gotta punch him or just don't work with him. Now, of course, that requires a level of understanding amongst black rappers that I don't think most young black rappers have. I'll be real with you. They don't understand the history of this shit. They may know superficially, like most people, that they're not supposed to say it because they're not black, but they wouldn't be able to really articulate why that makes sense. And so, but that's really what you should do. That's how you teach people. You hurt them in the pockets, a situation like this. If you wanted to do something, I don't think putting hands on bro is the answer. I think if you really care about it and you're a black person, But me personally, I wouldn't even call for people to do that because I just see this as a function of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even here rooting to like boycott bro or anything like that. I just see a person who don't get it. And that is what it is.
The N-word to eating a taco. And if you so dare to enjoy the savory tacos, then you can't be mad that somebody says the N-word. Regardless of where you stand on the N-word issue, we could all acknowledge that Sauce Walka comparison to eating tacos and saying the N-word is absolutely moronic. It sucks. It's stupid. Now, a lot of people looked at the aggressiveness in which Sauce Walka was defending Mexican OT, and they just dismissed it as pandering. Texas has a really huge Hispanic community. The consumer base for hip hop is majority Hispanic in Texas. Sauce Walka is a hip hop artist, so Sauce Walka kind of wanted to pander to that particular community. But apparently, Sauce Walka, no less than a week later, is now changing his entire tone on the situation. And it feels like he realized what the consequences are for, dare I say, owning, which to me is worse than his original stance. See, I don't care what your opinion is on who can say the N-word and who can't. I'm never gonna judge you. If you have a different opinion on a situation, I'm never gonna be like, hey, bro, I can't be your friend for it. No, bro. This is one of those issues where, I don't feel like this issue is divided down a line of good people and bad people. That's just dumb. Some good people believe that, that Mexican OT can say the N-word. Some bad people don't believe that he can say the N-word.
It's like this. Growing up, I was taught that I'm not trying to minimize this situation or this topic, right? But hear me out. It's an analogy. Growing up, I was taught that you're not supposed to eat with your elbows on the table, right? Doesn't make you a good person, doesn't make you a bad person. It's just one is proper and one is improper. If I saw one of my friends eating with his elbow on the table, more than likely, I wouldn't say anything. But in my mind, I would think that's bad table manners. That's how I feel when I hear Hispanic people or other people of color or even white people, say the N-word. When I know they're not saying it from like a place of hate or anything like that. They're saying it just the same way I say it. They in their minds, it's the same thing, right? And they think maybe it's like a colored thing, right? Now, I'm brown, you're brown, so we're all good, right? Fuck the cops, am I right? Kind of thing. That's how I feel. When I hear them say it, I'm like, oh, all right. Well, if I was Mexican, I wouldn't say it, knowing what I know, but I'm not going to lose sleep over this.
Just like some good people believe that he shouldn't say it, and some bad people believe he should say it. So this is not a topic that I'm going to judge somebody's character on. But what I would say is, as a man, you should have principles and convictions. And if your opinion is swaying based on the consequences, then that's not something I can respect as a man. If you want to stand 10 foot down as a soldier and say, that's my brother, he can say the N-word, leave him alone, we not rocking with that, we standing with him, I gotta respect it, because I'm not willing to die for it. But when you flip-flopping in this manner, when you come back after you receive the consequences and the backlash from black folks, and now your reputation is tanking, and now your career is probably, in a very shaky place right now because black folks is looking at you crazy, especially in your previous stances where you come across as if you are a militant black man, as if you got boots on the ground. So now they're looking at you a little crazy. And then you instantly flip on your homie? Nah, son. And I'm not buying this excuse of, oh, I didn't see the video. Cut it out, bruh. The video was a minute long. It was trending. You had to see that video to defend him in the first place.
Oh, yeah, man, say, man, kid that did South Walker. I did an interview last night. Shout out to my boy. There's a project. He'll be dropping some. The subject in hand, Mexican OT. See, now, at first, when I was speaking on what I was speaking on, I was only talking about the shit I seen on Say Cheese with the girl and all that, Say Cheese. My bro Dez showed me the interview and showed me exactly verbatim what Mexican T said on the interview on the podcast with all the women. OTB wrong, ho.
Oh, cut it out, cut it out, bruh. The Say Cheese post literally had the clip. And this is not like a clip where you gotta watch the clip the full way to see. No. He said it literally within a couple of seconds within the clip. He said, "Hey, are there any black men in this room? Just one. I bet. Hey, what y'all gonna do about it if I do say the N-word?" To tell me that you didn't see that particular clip and you was defending him saying the N-word with the veracity in which you did, I don't believe it, bro. I'm not buying it not one bit. He literally said it within the first few seconds.
Do you feel like you could say the N-word?
I feel like I can say it, but not because of that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I wish there was some black dudes in here.
There are. Right there. And there's one right here.
Because he's like, I'm gonna test him. I'm gonna show you I really ain't scared to say it. Notice he actually didn't say the word though during the interview.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him. What the fuck are you gonna do about it, you know? And then second of all, I grew up loving these motherfuckers.
Also notice he didn't look at the black guy. He's like, oh, we're gonna use him. Then he looks at the light-skinned woman. What the fuck are you gonna do about it?
With them. I grew up eating with them. I grew up fucking doing bad shit with them. I grew up loving with them.
I promise you, he ain't saying that on O Block, Compton. He ain't.
I got family. And it's not even about family. Even if I wasn't related to nobody, I'm black. I mean, it was shit. What the fuck I was surrounded by, you know? Like, I respect people that they feel that way, and that's why I try to shut the fuck up about it.
Right.
But if you're from where I'm from, or anywhere,
does he say it in his music, even though? Like, I feel like this was such an unnecessary fucking crash out if he doesn't even put the word in his songs.
You know, it's like I done went to the jungle and earned the lion's head. You know.
I feel like a lot of people that are from Latino descent here in New York feel that same way. The Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans.
I mean, shit. I mean, and not even trying to justify, but shit, y'all just got dropped off before us. That's all it is.
What the fuck is this dude dogging about? When did Americans, white Europeans, go into Mexico, capture them, drag them into America to force them to work against their will? Now, they did try to enslave the Native Americans, and you could make the argument that the Native Americans and the Mexicans, they're like kind of related, right? They're in a way, right? I mean, modern Mexicans are descendants of the people who were native to this land, and they did try to enslave the Native Americans, but it didn't work because they knew the territory too well. This is my biggest rebuttal. It's not even a rebuttal because I don't care to argue it, but there are a lot of black people, especially in the FBA community, the Foundational Black Americans, who believe that black people are native. A large percentage of the black people who are enslaved were native to the land. But there just are a couple things that are problematic with that. One, if that's the case, why weren't they also ravaged by smallpox? It's clear they had a different immune system than the Native Americans who were ravaged by smallpox. Secondly, why were they not able to escape like the Native Americans? You know what I'm saying? The Native Americans, they knew the land and the territory so well, they would just run away and not get caught because they knew the land so well. So why is it that only Native Americans, if we're entertaining this idea that people who look like, black people, Africans, were native to this land, why were they the only ones that sucked at running away? Why did all the ones that look like, Native Americans, aka Indians, why were they the only ones that were good at navigating the land and escaping? So those two things make me very skeptical of this idea that a large percentage of the black people in this country who are foundational black Americans, that their ancestors weren't brought here on a boat. But that's my thought on that. I could be wrong though. It's not a big deal to me one way or another.
Dropped off first. It's crazy.
We from the same boat.
So no, I'm not buying at all, not one bit whatsoever. This claim that, oh man, I didn't see that part of the clip. Cut it out. Yes, you did, man. And this still won't help. He would have been better off, to be honest, if he would have just stuck to his guns and talked to Mexican OT in private. Because, the people who are upset at you, the people who are trying to cancel you, the people who aren't going to listen to your music anymore because you had the strong stance you had initially, they still won't like you. They still won't let up on you. They still won't listen to your music. Because, you're not even addressing the real issue. They are mad at you because you said Mexican OT can say the N-word. And now you're coming back to say, well, man, listen, man, he wrong for how he said it in the clip, but he can still say the N-word, though. Bro, if that was your stance, you should have just stuck to your guns. Now you've successfully isolated both sides. Now the people who love Mexican OT don't rock with you. And now the people who believe that no Mexicans should say the N-word, they still not rocking with you. You have successfully isolated yourself and put yourself dead smack in the middle of this issue where no sides like you.
I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong, though, bro. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong, OT. And you got a black brother. That's what you partially was finna get into it, but you didn't want to get into it. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole 50% black brother in this mix, nigga. Real little nigga, your brother, so you should feel 100%. He should feel more what I'm saying. What about this part? I ain't with you about saying, can you say nigga because you grew up with us, went through all this shit with us, you love us, you've been through everything that a nigga went through, so that's why you say you can say nigga. The problem and the issue is the fact when you say nigga in a room full of women, is there any black nigga here? Is there any nigga here? Well, if it is, nigga, what you gonna do about it? That's where you fucked up at, brother. That's where the disrespect is. Because I'll tell you, if you was in a room full of violent, from Houston full of violent niggas like myself, TSF niggas, any nigga that's really from the H like that, and we was having that conversation and you said it in that way. Y'all said, because who's gonna do shit about it? There would have been 6 niggas in a room raising their hands saying they want to fight you. You know that. You know how this shit get down in Houston. You a Texas Crip. If a nigga come up to you and say, Mexican OT, you ain't no Crip. And what you gonna do about it? You gonna want to fight about that. This nigga in the room gonna say, who ain't what squabble? And that's where the disrespect and the third part is, OT, because at the end of the day, there's nothing but women in that room. There's a bunch of girls in that room. It was a now violent street nigga that come.
See, if he had started like this, everybody would have been on his side. Because he's doing both. He's one, not saying Mexican OT, you can't say the word. But he's also saying, nigga, what's all this extra shit about what you gonna do about it? What's all this extra shit? That shit unnecessary and disrespectful as fuck for no reason. And so, if he started like this, nobody would be clowning Sauce Walka. That's for sure.
Where you come from and been through what you've been through, or that's from somewhere else that's gonna disagree with you and with their statement to the point to where they'll fight you about that, or they'll do something about that. So therefore, that's what people in the general public gonna take it like that's holy, because you're doing something in the setting where people are gonna consider it, where it's safe to say that right there and right there. Would you possibly say that around a room full of?
There's never a point where I've been in some controversy and thought, man, I wish that Sauce Walka had my back. I don't even think Sauce Walka is the best person to have your back on this particular issue, man. If Mexican OT could finesse it to where Dr. Umar Johnson could have his back, I don't know. Charlemagne, who's also like one of these like pro-black podcasters, right? If he could manage to finesse, I don't know how you're gonna do this, man. Right? But there's a dude out of Texas, man, called Cornell X. If he could manage to get Cornell X and say, nah, Mexican OT is good, he got the hood pass. that's better suited. Sauce Walka defending you actually works against you, to be honest with, right? Now, there's some Crips from Long Beach, California, and they have an issue with Mexican OT saying the N-word. And I've done a pretty good job at kind of highlighting like the side of Sauce Walka and folks who believe that he should be able to say it, that I haven't really highlighted the people who don't believe he should say it. So let's check out this clip from Viral Way. It's a podcast of Long Beach Crips, and they have a big issue with Mexican OT being able to say the N-word.
I better chill out with all that N-word stuff. I just seen Mexican OT. I knew this was coming. Had an interview. 2 black chicks asked him, do you think Hispanics should be able to say the N-word? He says, man, I wish it was some black dudes in here right now. Look around. Spit black dude. They say, oh, it's a black dude right there. He said, okay, cool. If I do say it, what the f gonna do about it? And this is why I don't give no passes. It ain't even the fact that you grew up with blacks. It ain't the fact that the blacks you grew up with accept you saying it. It's the fact that you cocky and basically acting like all blacks, period, is just marks and ain't finna do nothing for you saying it.
That was a problem to me.
That's when niggas, hold on, what you mean what the fuck we gonna do? What you trying to say? That's when the nigga start getting beat the fuck up. And niggas trying to blur these lines. Oh man, they cool, this and that. No, you cool with your homies, nigga. Around every other black, it's out.
Yeah, bro. And that's why I'll say, like, look, I'm not gonna fucking make a big deal about it. But if you say it around the wrong black people and you get your ass beat, I'll also say you deserved it. You kind of walked into that one, you know?
If I don't know you, I'm smacking the shit out you straight up. That's me personally.
I don't even like my people that I know that are other races don't say that around me or to me. Me personally, I feel like, again, you have people who grow up and you know people gonna say it, but I don't like to communicate in that way with other people. And that's why I try not to even call other races what's up, my nigga, ever just because I don't even want to give niggas an impression that it's cool to do that.
Like you just said, bro, we gotta press that line, homie. And once they know you not playing, that's when everybody's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna chill out. And then if it is gonna be an issue, then it's up at that point.
Bro should have stood up and crashed him, honestly, because like now you pretty much testing me. Like, all right, what you gonna do?
Yeah, but that's where you get foolish. I guess if you have nothing to lose and you're bored, okay. But catching a case or even just putting yourself or another person in danger of bodily harm. I mean, people die in street fights all the time. Shit escalates all of the one. You punch a nigga, now somebody pulling out a knife, now someone else pulling out a gun. What do you win? What do you win? Even if you beat his ass and he doesn't press charges and he just takes the L like a man because he tried to test you and you stood up to him and you won. What did you win, really? How did you improve the condition of black people in America? How have you improved the condition of your own life? I don't see any win there. So that's why I think it's a waste of time, a waste of energy to do that. And quite frankly, I think how much black people care about this word being used by other people is tied to the amount of progress that the black community as a whole makes financially, right? Like, I think if black people, black Americans, foundational black Americans got a proper reparations check, I think they'll be like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm rich. I can send my kids to college without going into debt. Fuck it. You say it. I don't care, little Jimmy. You know what I'm saying?
The word is so universal, nigga gonna chill out, but it do take to like what bro said. It's not even about the word at this point. It's about you blankly trying to disrespect it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what you gonna do? Like, what the f you talking about? Even if you didn't say it at that point, it's damn near probably go time. Probably
because he looked around and said, I wish it was some in here.
Bro, that's why you can't offend white people. That's why white people, there's nothing you can call a white person. Like even the C word, right? Do you think there are any white people who actually get offended by that word? Because they're a part of the most powerful group in America, the wealthiest group in America. And so I think that's that does play a huge role in how these things affect people.
Well, I wish it was a black dude junior.
What's crazy about that is that it's still pump faking to me. Because if you nah, it's not even the fact it's content. You're looking around, you know it ain't no in here.
Yeah.
Nigga, you know this. Nigga, the fuck is you talking about? Put that in a room full of some that's really on that type of time, and let's see if he got the heart to do that. Then I have nothing to say.
But that's my question, though. I'm here. Who will be the dudes who are on that type of time? Because the gang members, they get passes. And those my guys. Viral way, y'all know those my brothers. But I ain't gonna let them sit here and pop it like the gangbangers in California is checking Mexicans. They not. Cut it out, man. Some of them, I'm not gonna say all, because I can't speak for all black gangbangers in LA, but a lot of them is terrified of Mexicans in California. I'm terrified. Listen, I haven't seen a black gang in California more ruthless than the Mexican mafia, bro. Bro, yo, I know people who, when they do content and they podcasting, and the Mexican mafia is like, you know, like you have to like say the words out loud when you're reading the script. They go out their way to not even mention that, bro. That's how spooked and terrified people are. Shout out to the dude, man, who looks like the Philly Muslim with the beard and the Just Do It shirt. He says, oh, well, we got to start pressing that line. Press what line? On hold. California gangbangers got no shortage. Y'all don't got a shortage.
Yeah, I will say MS-13 niggas are the scariest niggas I've ever seen in my life, bro. I will say that. That's for sure. MS-13 dudes, those guys are intimidating, bro.
Of Mexican rappers who say the N-word in the city, especially in Southern California. Y'all got no shortage, bro. Y'all got the names. Go press the line. What's been stopping y'all from pressing the line for the last 10 years?
These niggas?
I don't want to hear no gangbangers in California, bro. Not one.
I'm good. Yeah. No.
Because most of the time, the gangbangers
no, I'm good, bro.
are the ones giving
you
the
got
Mexicans the right to say the N-word.
Yeah, nah, you got it, bro. You got it.
Nah, blood, he from the set.
You
blood.
see this dude walk by, he's saying nigga?
Nah.
You got it.
Nah, bro, he one of us.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You do your thing, man. All right.
How you gonna tell the homie who grew up in the set and gangbang with you all your life that he can't say that
MS-13 is Salvadoran? Oh, I thought you had Mexican niggas in MS-13 too, though. You don't? Oh, learn something every day.
N-word, cuz. Come on, blood. That's not. Come on, man. The FOI members. I got more faith in the Nation of Islam members to press a gangbanging Mexican or a rapping Mexican for saying the N-word than I got in a Southern California gangbanger. Cut it out, man. Now, I'll be real. Those dudes on that couch, Viral, Messiah, I'm that dumb personally, so I can speak for their character. I know they gonna press some ish, all right? They gonna press. I do believe that if they're in the room and a Mexican say the N-word in front of them, they're gonna press. But how they are speaking, it feels like they speaking for California and black men in California and gangbang.
Okay, Flacco, we get it. You're an expert on gangsters in California. We get it. But yeah, well, that's the situation with Sauce Walker and fucking Mexican OT. Is this the end of Mexican OT's career? I don't think so. And the fact that Flacco hasn't played another clip, a follow-up clip, tells me that Mexican OT hasn't addressed this since the backlash occurred, which is exactly what he should do. Just from a point of view of, you know, understanding the metaphysical principles that govern the universe. If you don't want something to be a permanent fixture or a very cemented fixture in your reality, do not feed into it. Ignore it. Move on. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to over-explain yourself. Don't come out with any apologies. Especially, I mean, you said it with your chest the first time. Did you change your mind in a fucking week, nigga? You seemed real passionate and sure of yourself when you said that shit. So it's best you just stand on it and you move on with your life and don't worry about it. And so, yeah. But I would encourage Mexican OT to become a little bit more educated on the history of black people in America and the slave trade and, you know, what black people went through in this country and the reason there is such a insane wealth gap between blacks and whites and how that is a result of slavery. And that is the reason why the crime problem is the way it is in the lower income groups of black people and the lower educated groups of black people. All of that goes back to slavery. And so, if he understood that, I think he would respect that word a little bit more. But like you guys know, I don't give a fuck. So, yeah.